Welcome to Secrets to Alignment with Savannah Schaffer. I am here to equip you with the belief and energy to make your dreams a reality. Take this time to fill your cup and align with the most vibrant version of you. Welcome back to the Secrets to Alignment podcast with your host, Savannah Schaffer. I hope that you are having such a beautiful day or night, wherever and whatever that you're doing. I hope that it is going absolutely incredible, and I am so grateful that you decided to press play. Thank you so much for being here. Now, today's episode really hits close to home for me. I have been an overthinker for my entire life, okay? I truly believe that overthinking has created some of the best qualities that I have in my life, but it has also created some of the more challenging situations and difficulties that I have as a mother, as a partner, as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, just in general. And I'm really excited to share a little bit more of the vulnerable and raw side of this journey that I have gone through developing myself, through cultivating an identity that has confidence and clarity and peace and calm, and the version of me that you guys see today. Now, I want to make a disclaimer. I absolutely go through the exact same things that you guys go through as well. Right now, if you're somebody who overthinks, you find yourself getting in your head, you get stressed out about different things, or you get overwhelmed, or you doubt yourself or anything like that, trust me, I absolutely have been there. I get it through and through. It has been something that I have been intentionally working on for the last 2.5, 3 years. Honestly, since I got pregnant and had my daughter Aria, that's when I really decided to take things so much more seriously in my personal development journey, because I recognize how much overthinking takes me out of the present moment. It gets me completely in my head and outside of what I am actually doing, whether I'm cooking, whether I'm playing with my daughter. If my mind is starting to spiral or starting to overthink, overanalyze, doubt, second guess, anything like that, it takes me out of that present moment instantly. And I've recognized how this has disconnected me from not only my daughter, but even when I'm out on a date night with Ty, or I'm around my family or whatever, if I'm sitting there and I'm overthinking, what are people thinking about me? Or what am I going to do about this problem that I'm facing right now? Or if I'm getting really in my head, I'm worrying, I'm thinking worst case scenario, anything like that is going to take me out of that present moment. And the present moment is where all of the most beautiful experiences lie. That is where we get to enjoy the fruits of this world that we get to experience on a daily basis. So in a lot of ways, it has been positive for me. I think of every point of view in a lot of situations. It's made me become a planner and actually thinking through, okay, how is my day going to go? What problems might I run into? And it's really benefited me in some ways. It's probably the reason why I do what I do today, because that journey of overthinking for my entire life has led me to now cultivate the tools and practices that ground me. And now I've been able to help so many people do the exact same thing. I feel like almost every single one of my clients that I've ever worked with have gone through this as well, where they are an ambitious overthinker. So they have very ambitious minds. And I'm sure if you're listening to this podcast, you resonate with that in some way, shape, or form. You have very ambitious goals and you know that you are meant for more, but sometimes that mental internal chatter can really take you out of the present moment and distract you from what you know you need to be getting done. So for me personally, I've noticed just that. I've noticed it, me second guessing myself or questioning things. Even this weekend, I had a small moment like that. And what I love about where I'm at currently is I actually know what to do to ground myself, to bring myself back into the present, and not with toxic positivity where I'm just completely invalidating and just ignoring what I'm going through. No, instead, I'm actually feeling it completely, allowing those feelings to flush out 100%, gaining so much awareness, understanding, questioning it, and then deciding and choosing where I would like to be and how I'm going to deal with this moving forward. And after doing that so many times, it has completely rebuilt my entire thought process to truly benefit me, even when my mind is going a little haywire, okay? And like I said, I have those days. I don't have all the answers here. If you're coming to this podcast and you just think that Savannah knows absolutely everything, I'm gonna be really real with you right now. I fucking don't, okay? I'm just here to give you guys the tools that truly support me and help me in the moments where I'm struggling, where I'm having a moment where I really need some time to just relax and take a second to feel what I'm feeling and release as much as I can possible. So actually, since I just now mentioned this weekend, I'll give you guys a little bit of a recap. I'll explain exactly what was kind of going through my head this weekend. So Saturday morning, I woke up, I was in bed, and instead of me doing a meditation, I decided to journal because my brain was already getting going really early. Like as soon as I opened up my mind, I was already thinking through different scenarios. Honestly, a lot that has to do with work and what I need to be doing better and maybe what I'm not doing enough. And I started to question myself of like, should I go and work today? Like, should I put in more hours? Do I need to be working harder? And I just got a little bit in my head. So I took the time that I needed to actually sit there. I woke up on time so that I'd have time to journal before Aria woke up. And I took the time to just flush out this side of myself that was a little stressed and a little scared, to be honest. And this is the part where I really want you guys to understand that anything that you guys have worries about or anxiety about, or you're just feeling a little anxious about, usually the basis of those feelings are coming from fear, scarcity, from a lack mentality, or it's coming from shame or guilt. Okay, so one of those few things here are at play. And so what I did is I actually talked to the side of myself that was scared. Okay, and I asked her, Savannah, I see that you are overthinking, you're overanalyzing, you're doubting a little bit. Like, what are you scared of here? And I started to actually just write out all of the things that I was scared of happening, and I allowed it to completely just have the space it needed to express itself. Because to me, I think that this part of me that's a little bit scared, she might be my inner child. She might be my past self. She might be a version of me that is coming back up to once again be healed even deeper. So I gave myself the time that I needed to just write it all out and write out what my intentions are and what I'm calling in and exactly what I desire throughout this time period. I shed a couple tears, and then as soon as I started journaling about my baby, I started journaling about Aria. She literally opened up the door. The sun shined right through, right on my face, and it felt like the universe was just showing me what's really important right now, and that is spending time with my baby girl. So she got into my bed, we cuddled up, we talked in the morning, and it was just such a great morning after having some time to cry. And she saw me crying, she saw me shedding a couple tears, and she was like, Mommy, are you sad? And she was totally there for me, and it was just such a sweet moment. And then that morning I just took it easy, and I decided to take the day to focus on my mental health, to do things that I know would actually support me and lift me up and make me feel better and actually cared for. So I went to the gym. I did a full hour of just stretching, intuitively stretching. I didn't follow anything. I just was simply tuning into my body and doing what I felt like I needed to do for that full hour. And then afterwards, I was like, you know what? Aria and I, we're gonna go get my favorite acai bowl. We grabbed an acai bowl. We went to the mountains and we just ate our acai bowl in the mountains. We enjoyed time outside. We went for a little walk and we said what we were grateful for. We said that what we were letting go of, and we said what we were calling in. And then we got home and I cleaned the entire house. I had a moment to just take a bath, relax completely. I made really great home cooked meals on Saturday. And then I took the entire weekend to just nourish myself, doing yoga, doing breath work, and journaling, and taking the time that I needed for me to feel my absolute best. And going into this week, I feel recharged, I feel replenished, and I'm fucking ready to take on every single thing that comes my way. But if I didn't face what was coming up in those specific moments, I actually would not be feeling as great as I am right now. And that's because those thoughts that were going through my mind, if I would have just completely ignored it and maybe woke up right before Aria woke up and then got started with my day, I wouldn't have taken the time to actually address what was going on internally. And instead, that would have left me feeling anxious about it, or having these thoughts that are coming up that are a little bit more doubtful, and just continuously feeling that throughout this upcoming week. So I really prioritize that awareness piece. And right now, me having a day like that honestly does not happen often. I will say in the past, that was something that I experienced all the time. It felt like multiple times a week, my mind would just be racing in the morning. I would be going throughout my day, having these doubts, like not knowing what is actually going on. Like, why do I feel like this? Why am I not as motivated? Or like, why am I just checking off the boxes? I typically am somebody who, if you give me a task, I'm going to get it done. I always have like that to-do list, and I'm going to check off those boxes. But the thing that I really did not want to do in the past was face what was going on internally. I did not want to slow down long enough to hear my own thoughts. And that has been something that I've completely changed. And this is exactly how I have done this. This is what has led me to having so much more peace, so much more clarity, so much more calm energy throughout my days, my weeks, my months. And if I do have those days, I know exactly how to handle it, lift myself back up, and actually give myself the time that I need to process and let go and get back to my best feeling self. So number one, the first thing is awareness. You cannot change what you do not know. If you don't know what's going on in that chaotic mind, how are you ever going to change it? How are you going to change the scripts that are running through your head every single day if you're not even familiar with what you're worried about, with what you're anxious about? You have to actually take that time out of your day to consciously face these things. And that is the hardest part for all of us. For all of us to experience that internal chaos, that's something that many of us do experience. But to actually face it and to see it pen to paper, flushing it all out and looking at it and fully thinking through those thoughts and not allowing yourself to just get caught up in the next thought and the next thought and the next thought and spiraling, that is what is really, really challenging. And one of the best things that you can cultivate for yourself is this incredible sense of awareness. I am so incredibly aware of the thoughts that are going through my head at every moment in time. And it has taken me so much time to prioritize that, to actually make that a practice for myself. And now I finally can catch every single thought that goes through. But before, it was like those thoughts came so quickly, I didn't know what to do with them. I didn't know how to slow them down. I didn't know how to stop them. They would just spiral and spiral and spiral until I just felt like shit. And I was just like a shell of a human being, to be honest, because I was just constantly in my head and I wasn't able to be present. So I want you to gain awareness, okay? And I will say that there was a point in my journey where I never wanted to talk about these things. I never wanted to speak up about them. I didn't want to journal about them because I was worried that if I did, I would create more of that. And this is the problem with the positivity wave, where we don't want to look or face anything that's not quote unquote positive. We don't want to say anything that's not positive because we're worried that we will create more negativity. But the reality is that negativity already lives inside you. And this is something that I had to learn through many coaches over and over and over again. The negativity is already within you. Those thought processes, those belief systems, those stories that you're telling yourself, they already live with you internally. And what's happening internally is it's just spiraling in there and it's creating more of a mess. If you can get it out onto paper and you can fully flush out your thoughts, you're finally taking what is internal to the external, and you are allowing it to leave your vessel and no longer stay with you, no longer allow you to stay stuck in your head, procrastinating, stuck in general, and you're able to actually move forward with ease. And you're able to actually move forward with clarity. And while you do this, if you journal or you meditate on it, personally, my favorite way is always to journal because I like to have pen to paper, actually sorting through my thoughts and what's going on in my head. Once you take that time to do that, you want to actually stay intentional with holding space with compassion, okay? You don't want to judge yourself for thinking these thoughts again. You're like, oh my gosh, why the fuck is this coming up? Why do I always do this? And I can't believe that I'm in my head about this once again. Instead of judging yourself, take the time to give yourself grace, compassion, love, acceptance, validation, everything that you need so that you're in a neutral space and you're not trying to shame or guilt yourself from being back in that place. Because I've definitely been guilty of this in the past, and I feel like that's the reason why I wasn't able I wasn't able to actually change because I was stuck just like shoveling on more shit to then judge myself about. So take the time to give yourself some compassion. Then number 2, you want to actually understand it. Understand it by questioning these things. Question, why is this coming up? Where is this coming from? Is this actually a story that you have been told? Maybe it's not your own. Maybe it's your parents or your grandparents or someone else in your life that's told you that you weren't good enough or that you weren't ever going to be successful or whatever that it is that you're worried about. Actually ask yourself, where is this coming from? And why am I thinking this about myself? Like, why am I assuming the worst here? And gain some clarity. And once you start to try to understand it, you will actually see it subjectively. You'll see it as a little bit like distant from yourself, where you're trying to recognize and understand something that is external to you, and that kind of puts it outside of you in a place where you can just like kind of draw some questions and be a little like scientist and just ask yourself like, okay, what's going on here? Why is this happening? Like, why am I reacting this way? And just actually start to gain some understanding. And number 3, choose to shift. You always have the power to choose to shift. You have the power to choose your thoughts. You have the power to choose to stop spiraling. You have the power, okay? So take back that power. When you start to notice yourself spiraling, decide, I'm going to choose to shift my energy, because you cannot solve a problem if you are still in that same frequency that the problem originated in. So take the time to choose to raise your vibration. And this is where personally my favorite way of doing this is through gratitude. If you are dealing with a lot internally, gratitude is the best way to reach for that next high vibrational feeling, whether that's going from sadness to happiness or happiness to joy, joy to enlightenment, wherever that you're currently at on that little scale of emotions. You want to just reach for the next one a little bit higher so that you can raise that frequency just a little bit and be coming from a higher point of view, becoming from a higher sense of knowing, of believing, essentially solving the problem. You want to start intentionally looking for solutions in this point. And again, my favorite way of doing this is through gratitude. I will just sit there and I will list out as many things as possible for me to be grateful for so that I can shift that frequency and automatically start to see this in a better way. Now, number 4, you want to decide that you're not going to go through this again. Decide that you're no longer going to allow your internal reality to affect your external reality, because this is where the problem typically begins. A lot of times once we get stuck in our head, we stop taking action, or we start to get confused, or we start to put things on our plate that actually won't support us in getting closer to our goals. It'll just keep us busy. You want to make sure that those internal experiences that you're having are not going to affect the external reality, the external goals that you have for yourself. Every single time that you're in your head questioning and doubting and thinking through all of these things, you're actually taking the time away from being present in the moment, present with your family, your friends, your work, your clients, whatever that it is that you do. You are not going to be nearly as effective as if you have a clear mind. And again, this is what so many of my clients come to me for, because they recognize that they're not even able to be as creative or focused or present with their clients, or just in work in general. If they work a 9-to-5, like they're not able to just get through things effortlessly and easily because they are so caught up in what's going on in their mind that they're distracted, they're procrastinating, they're slowing things down. They're not able to be as efficient as they could if they had a clear mind. And this is something that I truly love supporting people with, because I know personally what it feels like to go through that. And I finally have the tools and the practices that allow me to move through my days with ease, to actually release this internal chaos and finally come into presence, into peace. And from that place, I'm able to create so much incredible results, so much of an impact on others, and just overall, just live a better, happier, more joyful life. So if you are dealing with that right now, if you're somebody who overthinks or you overanalyze or you're doubting or you're second guessing, I get it. I hear you. I was there. I see you so deeply, my love. And I would love to invite you into my world. I am here to genuinely support you with where you're at. And I know exactly what can help you get from that chaotic place in your mind to the most peaceful, grounded, and happy version of yourself. I'm here for you. And if this feels like it's resonating, I do have one spot open for my coaching at the moment. I just now finished up 6 months after another 6 months with a client. She worked with me for a total of 12 months, and her entire transformation has been so beautiful to experience. She came to me a year ago experiencing so much internal distress. She was having panic attacks and anxiety attacks, and she's honestly had a really challenging upbringing. And so we did so much work internally that it ended up translating into so many incredible external results. And not only did she scale her business, but now she's just actually like living in a really great place internally and externally. And it has just completely changed her life. And it's been from getting a grip on what was going on internally so that she can actually move efficiently and effectively and take action and actually work towards the things that she's always wanted to create for herself. So if that resonates with you and if that feels like something that you're needing right now, that person to just be there to help you organize the chaos internally and also get you into action and start taking action, aligned action towards the things that you desire in this lifetime, I am here for you. And I would love to work with you one-on-one and just help you step into that most beautiful, vibrant, and happy version of yourself. I'm totally here for you, my love. If you need any support right now, DM me on Instagram. Please, please, please like and subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube. Make sure that you follow the podcast on Spotify or on Apple. Leave me a rating, leave me some comments, let me know what you are really taking away from these episodes. And I would love to hear if there's anything that you truly need support with when it comes to your mindset, when it comes to your business, when it comes to your career, how to navigate challenging relationships, anything at all. I am here for you. And I'd love, love, love to hear what you're struggling with so that I can create an episode specifically for you. I appreciate you for being here. Thank you so much. And I will see you guys next Monday. Bye.